Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about the 2025 film, The Long Walk. All right. Fascinating film, and I think there's a lot here for Dungeon Masters to learn and for Dragon Masters to learn. So, the reason why I love Dungeons and Dragons so much is more than anything I've ever encountered, it does more with narrative and identity than anything I've ever seen. I absolutely love movies, but I don't like movies as much as I like um, Dungeons and Dragons. And one of the reasons why is movies do turn the lever of, they turn the wheel, they turn the lever, they turn the gears of narrative, right? They are, directors are storytellers, actors are storytellers, but um, that identity part is missing, right? It's not missing for actors. I actually think movies really do similar things for actors as Dungeons and Dragons does for players and for dungeon masters. One of the things, and one of the reasons why I believe that most is I'm really fascinated by Natasha Lyonne. Really fascinating actress, really nice lady, and I love her work. And recently I saw her on Neil Brennan, and she said, I think about being a time traveler, a prisoner, and a detective, and I think about how that's changed me, right? And so identity, there is some of that for actors, but not for directors and not for experiencers, for viewers, right? But one of the reasons, but I do love movies, and the other, and I think, and it really does help me understand Dungeons and Dragons better. So I want to talk about The Long Walk, and I apologize, I should have said this earlier. Spoilers, major spoilers for the 2025 Long Walk here. So this was based on a Stephen King novel, and it's really fascinating. So I watched The Long Walk. Now, I was not excited about The Long Walk, and the reason why is I don't get excited about movies that I don't see trailers for. That worries the heck out of me. Like, I'm just like, wait, why didn't I see any trailers for this, right? So if a movie just shows up and I have not seen a single trailer for it, I usually take that as a sign that this is a bad movie, right? And I think usually that's correct. But in this case, it was not. By the way, Long Walk is a 5 out of 5 star movie. I really am glad. I wanted to say I love this movie. That's not true. I'm very glad I watched this movie, okay? But I did not love this movie. In fact, what's really fascinating about The Long Walk is this is an excellent film. It really made me feel something, and I felt like I fully understood it, and I felt like the journey to its ending was challenging me emotionally and intellectually, right? But I'm convinced I will never watch The Long Walk again. I watched it on the big screen. I saw it. I understood it. I appreciated it. I will never watch that film again. The reason why was it was emotionally painful. It was intellectually painful, right? But I really do believe I understand humanity better. I understand brotherhood better. I understand suffering better because I watched this film. It was really excellent. It's a fantastic film. I was really blown away by it. It was just incredible. It's an incredible movie. I will never, ever watch it again. Okay? Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is I think The Long Walk is very strong evidence that playing D&D for fun is a mistake, right? D&D is just like a movie. Like, basically, by saying the purpose of D&D is to have fun, it's essentially saying you should only go see comedies. You should never see a sad film or a horror film or a science fiction film or a fantasy film, right? Just comedy, just fun, right? Just fun. The point of narrative is fun. It's so limiting and so destructive. And the reason why I try to counter it is it's so ubiquitous. You hear so many people giving this advice, and it's such bad advice. Like, there are young people, there are college, students, there are, middle-aged people, and there are old people who are coming to D&D right now, and they're trying to learn it, right? And this is such bad advice, right? It's this powerful tool for understanding narrative, for for immersing yourself in powerful narrative, for immersing yourself in identity options, and then walking away with benefits, right? And to say, all it's good for is fun is like telling people only eat sugar, right? It's just so destructive and harmful and wrong. It's just wrong, right? Now, I will say this, right? Like, I will say, like, watching The Long Walk is like eating bran cereal, right? Like, I don't eat bran cereal that often, but but people who do, that's healthy, right? And that is very healthy, right? And there are people who it's their main, that's what they really strive off of, and they need that fiber, right? And this is the point. Some narrative has to have fiber, right? There needs to be some protein every now and then. And The Long Walk is an excellent example of narrative fiber, narrative protein, right? Like walking away with something of very, very strong, it's like an elixir. It's really, really good. And I was really, I guess there are no spoilers. Sorry, I guess there's no spoilers for The Long Walk here. I wanted to give myself, freedom to go where I needed to go. But my entire point is, this was not a fun movie. It was not a fun movie. It was not fun in any way. I'll never watch that movie again. I really will not. But there were powerful performances by extremely good actors in it. This was an excellent film, and I'm so glad that I went and saw it. One thing that's also really interesting is someone, so you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Grace Randolph, and she panned this movie. She said it was not a good movie. She really, really disliked it. I love this film. I thought this film was extremely helpful and useful and valuable and valid. And I think it's really important that we have movies like this. I think 2025 Long Walk is a movie that you should go see if you're an adult. I think it's rated R. And it was really phenomenal. And we need to leave room for Dungeons & Dragons to do what Dungeons & Dragons is going to do, right? And saying that Dungeons & Dragons, the point of Dungeons & Dragons is fun, is like telling people how to eat by saying, just eat cereal, right? Telling people that the point of Dungeons & Dragons is to have fun it's destructive. It's just such an incredibly destructive view. And it belittles something that does not deserve to be belittled. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments, then send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.